Welcome back, everyone, to the Model Frontier. Today we have another special for you about Agora Models build the RMS Titanic. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to smash the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss a second of any of my gaming or model building content. So last special we just took a look at a detailed look at a few things that you might consider doing with your model. Today we're going to take a look at some upgrades you might choose to purchase from Woody's Modelworks, and we're going to see how they fit into the ship, what works, what doesn't, and how you can incorporate these amazing upgrades to make your Titanic model really stand out. So I don't want to waste your time much longer. Let's get back to Titanic. So we're going to take a look at some of the stuff that I ordered from Woody's Modelworks. These are going to help with making this model really pop, even though a lot of these details I'm sure we're never going to see, but Woody's Modelworks really goes above and beyond. So we're going to start with this box. Because although Woody's Modelworks is primarily based about doing photo etch parts, they do they do one good resin part. Well, a few, but we'll go into that. So okay, so first off, this is a set of sheets and for the beds and pillows that you get in other sets. Obviously these would be pillows, these would be sheets, these are, I believe, sheets or something, or mattresses or something. I'm not 100% sure, but it's basically burned into cardboard, etched into some cardboard, but it'll give it that look. So it's definitely a good thing. It's an add-on. It's an upgrade you can get. It's an add-on that they offer to you. And then another upgrade you can get is little bathtubs. Obviously we all know that Captain Smith's bathtub is still, or it was still down there. It's one of the most famous things about the disaster. So, you get two of these, so you can add bathtubs to your ship if you wish. But the big thing that's in this box is, if you can't tell by the shape of the foam, the grand staircase. I know it doesn't look like much. I mean, we're gonna compare it with this kit, with the kit piece. You can see though, I mean, they are roughly the same size. Not as detailed, but I'll be addressing that in a little bit. But along with the staircase, you get the actual cherubs that go on the staircase that are part of this. And you get a bunch of columns to put in the grand staircase area. So this is a set you get. When you buy a set of this, you can buy it with a single set that comes with just this, or you can do like I did and buy a double set. I believe the single will only come with 2 cherubs, whereas the double gives you the 4 set. It's very high quality resin, very strong, and yeah, that should definitely hold up when it's all painted up and everything. So this is the first thing we got from Woody's to show off. Obviously, I'm going to have to do a little tinkering to modify this staircase to work with the model set, but I got a few ideas already that I think should work. So we'll try that at a later stage. But now we got the big stuff from Woody's Modelworks, and this is what Woody's Modelworks is most known for, and it's their photo etched parts. Now I grabbed a few sheets of photo etch from here. Well, I'm gonna have to see if I could maybe dim these lights a little bit here. Hang on. Okay, so this is gonna be a little tricky to show with the lighting the way I got it. I'll try my best to make this work out. Alright, so we have some stuff from Woody's Modelworks right here, and I'm going to go over them sheet by sheet and show you exactly why I got these and what you can expect. Basically, I've taken a look at all this stuff already, and it is beautiful, and let's just say the sooner you can get some of this stuff, your hands on these, the better. So definitely keep an eye on, for Woody's Modelworks stuff. So the first thing I ordered is sheet A, which is basically a lot of the bridge, which basically deals with the bridge and the forward section of the ship. So you can see here we got our bridge sections. We've got, that's the exterior of the bridge, that's the interior. Highly, highly detailed on this. So if you get this, there is obviously some assembly required. A lot of assembly actually required for this. But, you can make the results work, and you can see for yourself how they work out. Plus, as an added bonus, we actually have the section for A deck. So when we get to that, we don't have to worry about getting that. That as well. We also have, I'm thinking this is something for the back of the ship, or maybe this is it's a forward detail set. So this would be for the front section of the ship. I'm not sure about if this is A deck or B deck, but this will be for the front of the ship. And again, you have an exterior detail and an interior detail, and you would do some gluing and some, moving around of stuff. Right here, you have your C deck bulkhead. That goes on, you put that together, that goes on the very front of the Titanic with holes drilled out for your lights. So, one thing that Woody's does really well with his parts is it makes it very clear what parts are going to be painted and what parts aren't, and what parts you can put your glue onto. So, for example, you can see on the C deck bulkhead, this is the front of it, this is the back of it. So you would actually put this on the back here, so you can put your glue on all of this, and all these holes will line up with all these holes, and your staircase cutouts will line up and everything. Same thing for all these. You see how, like, these sections, you've got a clouded section of the photo etch, and then you got this shiny section. The shiny section is where you're going to do all your gluing, and this golded section is where you're going to do all your painting. So, makes it very clear and easy to see what you need to paint and what you need to put your glue onto. And of course, he does provide good instruction sheets, not in the kit, but on the website. He gives some very good instructional sheets that you can use to put stuff together with. Again, a lot of this stuff we don't need right now. I mean, I know we've already done the bridge on my build, so we're not really going to do anything with that. We haven't even done anything on the superstructure yet, so I'm not even going to try to touch that yet. This bulkhead, we may use this. Depends on what we get from the fine folks at Agora Models. I don't know yet. We have to wait and see. But this is all for the forward, deck set, and it focuses mainly on the bridge. So you get this, you're in good shape. Now this next sheet, I honestly didn't even order. I just happened to get it, and, I'm very gracious for it. And I hope that, if it was a mistake, thank you for sending it. But you can see we have a superstructure set. So basically, this is all the side pieces of the superstructure going all the way, I think, right along the whole boat deck. And once again, you're going to have sections that go on the inner part and the outer part. These are usually the inner parts here, the doors and everything. These are the inner parts, and these go along the outside. And it's really hard to show you the fine details, but like there's rivet details and, you know, everything's just in place. I mean, you got the little, there's a little, you know, pull string right here that I'm not sure what it was for, to be honest. I don't think it was for passengers though. Again, you would just follow the instructions on on Woody's site, and he will tell you how to install all of this. So now this is all the I-beams that will go over or under the boat deck. These all sit on top of a deck. So these all sit on top of a deck, underneath the boat deck, above a deck. So, again, can't stress the detail enough. He even includes holes if you want to add lights, which I'm going to definitely want to do. So, we're going to definitely be talking about this piece a bit later on, so just stay tuned for that. But yeah, and he, again, follow his instructions on how to use it, and you'll be good. One thing that he does really well with this is he includes a little border so that you can get these all good to go glued down before you take them off. So you don't really have to do them one by one. You can do them in a group. So that's really helpful. And this is, I mean, this is definitely something that is going to make your model look, my model and yours maybe, look really, really good. Now, this sheet is an internal set of, these are for some of the first class internals. It's sheet F. If you got the grand staircase, you need to get this sheet because, as I stated before, you can see this grand staircase is missing its railings and everything. Well, there they are. Those are the railings and all the columns and stuff you need for the grand staircase. And it even comes with the backdrop with the clock, which if we compare that to the clock that Agora gives you, you can see the detail is way more heavy there than it is here. So yeah, this is definitely the better piece we're going to use for ours. I'll go over painting all this and how to do it. You also got stuff for the first class reading and writing room, first class corridors, the lounge, which we haven't gotten to yet. Just so many different rooms in this one sheet that you can use, so definitely a worthwhile investment. And again, if you buy the grand staircase set, you have to get this too. There's no point buying the staircase if you don't have the rails to go with it. So buy the staircase, buy this set. All in all, that will run you that'll run you about 100 British pounds for 2 sets of the stairs and this. Whatever that is in US dollars or whatever country you're from, I'm not 100% sure, but it's about 100 British pounds. The last sheet actually has 2 parts to it. It is for the officers' quarters on the boat deck. Basically what this sheet gives us is all the rooms for the officers, as well as the corrected port side and the corrected officers' external walls. So, and we got the back wall for the wheelhouse, which we already put on ours. You get the wheelhouse, actually get the wheelhouse. If you haven't, done if you didn't buy the set like I did. You get the Marconi room, you get all kinds of great stuff right here. The bathrooms, captain's sitting room, the navigation's room, captain's bedroom, along with all the furniture for all these rooms too, which obviously that's where you'd have to assemble and put stuff, put stuff on there. And of course you get a second set which comes with, which comes with doors, windows, and porthole thing, whatever these things on the bottom are. I think that's what those are, and stuff to put on your lights on your deck, which I'm gonna be using for sure. So, yeah, this is, again, the details you get from Woody's Modelworks, it can't be overstated enough. It is just so much more than just the little bit that you'd think. Definitely worth the value, worth what you pay for. So here we are with the grand staircase done, and you can see all the little fine details on this. Everything's glued together. It may not be 100% perfect, but once it's inside the ship, it's just not going to be seen that much. But we're going to talk about a few of the things we had to do with it. So here's the staircase as you get it from Woody's Modelworks. Now, this is technically correct, but it's smaller than this staircase, which you can clearly see. If you look at these railings, they don't quite go all the way up. So you can go one of two ways with this. One way you could go is you could use some polystyrene to basically fill in the hole in the boat deck to make this actually the right size and fit, which could be a pain to do. Or you do like I did, which is basically on the staircase part here, you just cut off the two wing stairs, you cut off the main staircase from here, and you just kind of glue them together. And then you could put all your railings and stuff on it that way. For the clock in the back, I basically took the piece you get with the kit, I sanded it down to flatten it out, and then put the clock piece on there so that it'll sit right where it's supposed to sit. And once we glue that in, it'll be fine. So it'll be kind of like that. I folded these ends down because it just makes it easier to get it to work right. And then, of course, you've got all these side rail pieces. This. All these are basically going to form this section of the ship, of the grand staircase. So, it's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. It really is, a really big section of work to do. And the rewards are going to be kind of hit and miss. So it's really up to you if you decide you want to do this. I'm not going to say you have to. Some of the sizing may be wrong because I'm thinking, if you put this up to here, you can still see there's a bit of a gap there. I will figure out what to do with that as I go and put these on, as we get these put on the ship. But for right now, I'm going to go paint these up and we're going to take a look and see how they look. And so here's a picture of the grand staircase in place, and you can see it's very more detailed and looks nicer than what you get in the kit. But now with that done, let's move on to the rooms in the officers' quarters. Before we look at this next section of Woody's Modelworks, I'm going to tell you right now that it did not work in the model that we're building here. I tried to do it all as best I could, and I'm going to show you how I tried to do it so that you get the idea. But the pieces end up just being a little too tall so that the officers' quarters area won't sit flush with the deck like it needs to. I'm sure if there's someone out there that's a little ingenious with it, they can maybe sand down the tops of it, or the bottoms, or both, and just kind of make it fit in. But I wasn't that industrious, so it's not going to be me that does it. So I'm just going to leave this off of my model, but I still wanted to show it to you, so you could maybe do it on your model. So here we are with the Woody's Modelworks, basically the officers' quarters area painted up. Obviously, these are for the captain's area because he's the captain. He gets a little bit of extra opulence than the plain ordinary officers' quarters. So now we're going to go ahead and put these onto our deck. Now, how are we going to do that? We got to do two things. First of all, we got to test how this is going to fit with the pillars on the actual upper part of this, and then we're going to have to find where they go on the bottom, because we're going to be putting these on the bottom part because there's furniture to add as well. So I'm first going to go ahead and get the superstructure part, and I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to begin with the chief officer's room, which, if you're looking at the Titanic deck plans, which I highly recommend getting, is going to be in this, no, it's going to be on this side of the ship. So the port side of the ship we're going to start with. So here's our piece, and it's going to kind of go in, it's going to go right up against the wall. Whoops, upside down. Not like that. This isn't the Poseidon Adventure. So we're going to put it up against the wall here. And down like that. So this one, the pillar is going to fit fine. So now we're going to go get our bottom deck, and we're going to get our boat deck, and we're going to put this in place. So since we're working this port side, we are going to put this piece, fold it a little more here. This piece is going to go right into here. So, no, it'll actually go like this. Why would I put the door on the one side? So it'll go in like this. So fold these in nice and 90 degrees. Then we're going to get our glue on it, and we're going to glue it down. And there you go. The first room is in place. Now, that first room is always going to be the trickiest, because now the other rooms are going to go along the back here and just continue on down the line. So, if you take a look at our sheet here, he really makes it easy, this guy does, because the port side's all on one side and the starboard side's all on the other side. So we're just going to go straight down the line and put all the rooms in. You obviously are going to fold them 90 degrees, and the thing I was going to say is it makes it a little easier because now we'll have a wall we can glue the next room onto as well. So I'm going to go put all these rooms in, and I'll meet you back here to show you what it looks like on this side when it's done. So before we put the grand staircase into our ship, we are going to attach these beams, which actually go on the bottom of the boat deck, so they're on the roof of a deck. These are basically going to be the beams that you would see if you were looking up while you were walking the deck of the ship. Now, there's a lot here to go over. Obviously, I'm not going to show you everything. There is some stuff I'm going to show you, though. One of the things they do give you is a good test piece here. So I'm going to go to that and show you some stuff about that. Okay, so here we go with our test piece. And I'm going to explain a few things about why this is such a well-designed little piece. First of all, what they did over at Woody's Modelworks is they put these on a frame. Because, I mean, I'll show you since this is the test piece. Each roof beam if you can't tell, is its own individual piece. It's its own individual, piece with the rivet details. I don't know if it's going to be seeable on camera or not, but you got all these riveting details and everything. So what they did, so that you don't have a million of these things to go all over the place, what you're supposed to do is you keep them on these sprues and then glue them down when you're done with this next part that I'm about to show you. And then once they're all glued and the glue sets, that's when you would break these off and voila, instant roof beams. Some of them will also have sections like this. These are cross beams that sometimes go in between them, and they put them right in the area where they're supposed to go. So what you need to do in order to make this work, and this goes for all the beams to get them 3D'd, is the best method is to take a ruler to the thinner end of it, for the thinner part, get it right to the line, and then use a blade to kind of get under the middle section as much as possible. You are going to have to kind of hold this down tightly. You're going to tip the section up. And it gets bent at a 90-degree angle. Now this particular piece has two parts, and they get tipped up. And as you can see, maybe, you've got a beam. And then if you have any parts, like here, they give you a test for the cross beams. All you would do is, and I would probably do this after you've already got all your beams out, is you would take your cross beam out, and what they do is they put the cross beam pieces in line with where they go on this part. So really all you're going to do is just take it right out and fit it in place. And I should have done this one after. This is why I just said do it after you do that after you pop them all out. And then there you go. So you'll do that all over the ship. And obviously you would glue this piece down, but this is a test piece. So another big recommendation is we're going to work from front to back. We're going to work from bow to stern to get this right. So enough with the test pieces. Now let's get to the real thing. Okay, so here we go to start with. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make what's called the telegraph shroud. Now, it's a small section, but it does stick out a little bit, so we are going to have to make it. Now, you gotta look how to do this, because the folds are going to be done a certain way. You don't just want to go folding like crazy. So I'm thinking we're going to start at this bottom part here. Unfortunately, all the folds are going to be 90 degrees, so... So there we go. We got our telegraph shroud all folded up. So we're now going to put this to the side to do our next section. So here goes the main part of our forged section. We're leaving it on the things here. We're going to fold up all these small sections here first. So just like we did on the test piece, we're going to take our ruler here and fold all these up at 90 degrees. So just like that. Now we have some pieces, some cross pieces to actually glue in place first, before we put our shroud on. So let's make sure we have everything off to the side. Now these pieces they didn't put them on here like they do with the rest of them, so we're gonna have to kind of find them and pick them out. So before we do, we want to have our glue ready to go at hand. But the lucky thing is they all still go in order. So we're going to cut our first one out here. Which is a real short one that will go in right on the end here, so it'll butt right up against the one. It'll butt right up against this T-piece, so. Put a little bit of glue on that. And using our right angle tweezers, we're just going to put it right up and go 90 degrees on it. Give that a second to set up. And then the cross pieces do just go right down the line here on each side. So we're going to go put those in and then we'll come right back. Pay special attention to the fourth one. It looks like it's holding something. It is going to end up holding something. So we want to put those with the points pointing up. Kind of like how your ship will sit on its stand. And there we go. Now with our cross beams in, I'm doing a dry fit of the shroud that we had to build first. Basically, it goes right on this section, and it's going to sit straight up against this support beam, the front support beam. This one section is going to stick out a little bit, but that's okay. It's supposed to do that. Okay, so there we go. This piece is all ready to be put onto the ship. So now we're going to go grab our section of the ship and we're going to add this piece on. So go grab your boat deck and meet me back here. So here's the ship part that we're working on. We're going to be working on this little section right here. You may want to create yourself a little jig just so that you can hold it up without risking damage to the very fine details, because obviously you'd want to have this whole deck together in one piece before we put this piece on. So it's going to go right about here in line with the bridge. Now, as I mentioned, the rest of this piece is an exception because it is just one solid piece. The rest of these will all be on the will all be on a sprue. So the rest of these will be individuals, I should say. So in this particular case, this won't be a big issue to do. So I took the back end off so I can do a kind of a dry fit on this. Right there. Now, yes, this thing does have spaces you could put lights in if you choose. This is one of those situations where I'm going to opt for not putting the lights in for a couple reasons. Number one, when I did the lights in the officers' quarters area, I noticed that there was a little bit of a diminishing of the lights when I put them on, or when I got them all hooked up. There was a little bit of a diminishing with the lights, and that got me thinking the power supply issues could be a factor. And since we don't know how this thing is going to be powered yet, to get these lights in, I counted them, it would take over 70 micro LEDs to get these all lit up. So I just don't think that that battery power supply, on at least the kind we're probably going to use on this, is going to be enough to power it. So in this particular case, I'm going to leave the lights off it, and I think that the lighting that comes from the interior structures of a deck will be more than sufficient to give our deck lighting. But if you want to add lights yourself, the instructions this kit that are provided for this kit give you step-by-step instructions on just exactly how to go about doing just that. So if you're adventurous enough to try, that's up to you. But just know that it takes a lot of drilling of channels for the wires and everything, and if you're gonna wire this section up, it's probably something you'll want to do well in advance of putting your boat deck together. So now we got that covered in the glue. We're gonna put it on to our deck here. And then once your glue sets and you're happy with it, there you go. You've just added a detail that is it's a very minor detail, but it gives your ship a lot more life than it would have otherwise with this. And speaking of this, now we gotta go and do all the rest of the way down the length of this. So the process is gonna always be the same. Fold up the single sections, put your cross braces in. Fortunately, we won't have to worry about another shroud to put in, and always take your time working front to back. And be careful with, making sure that you don't put your parts on anything that's going to break. So rather than bore you guys with all that, I'm going to go do all of the sides here off camera, and we will come back and take a look at it when it's all done. And once you get them all done, it should look something like this. I'm not gonna lie, this part was a real pain in the butt, but it is definitely worth it to add this little bit of detail that's just gonna make your model stand out all that much more. And that's it for Woody's Modelworks. I can't wait to see how some of these things that we didn't get to touch on today actually fit into the ship, but it's gonna be great to see if we can make maybe the superstructure sections will work nice on the ship, and we got a few other things to do. The bulkhead's going to be a big, huge thing to put on, so that's coming up later, of course. Can't wait to get to that, so thank you for watching. I'll see you next time on the Model Frontier.